Ever wondered about the rich and diverse history of Trinidad and Tobago's cuisine? It all began with the island's first inhabitants, the Arawaks and Caribs. These indigenous communities, living in harmony with the land, cultivated a variety of crops that would lay the foundation for the vibrant culinary culture of Trinidad and Tobago. The Arawaks and Caribs, with their intimate knowledge of the local climate and soil, began to grow and harvest crops like cassava, corn and peppers. Cassava, a root vegetable with a subtle earthy flavor, became a dietary staple. The Arawaks and Caribs used it in a multitude of ways, from ground into flour for bread to boiled as a starchy side dish. Today you'll find cassava bread and cassava pone, a sweet, spiced pudding, gracing the tables of many Trinidadians. Corn, the golden grain of the Americas, was another crop cultivated by these indigenous groups. Whether roasted on the cob or ground into meal for cornbread, corn became an integral part of their diet. Today, corn soup, a hearty mix of corn, dumplings and local spices, is a beloved street food in Trinidad and Tobago. And then there were the peppers. The Arawaks and Caribs were no strangers to heat, growing a variety of peppers to add a fiery kick to their dishes. From the fruity Scotch bonnet to the smoky pimento, peppers are at the heart of Trinidadian cuisine, giving life to local specialties like pepper pot, a tangy, spicy stew. This rich agricultural heritage of the Arawaks and Caribs did more than just feed the people. It set the stage for a culinary tradition that would continue to evolve and grow, absorbing influences from around the world, yet remaining rooted in the indigenous crops of the land. To this day, the influence of these first islanders is felt, with their crops continuing to play a central role in Trinidad and Tobago's culinary landscape. The arrival of Christopher Columbus in 1498 marked the beginning of a new culinary era, where European influence began to blend with the indigenous flavors. The Spanish, being the first Europeans to settle, began to infuse their food traditions into the local cuisine. Staples like rice, beans and pork became more prevalent, while local ingredients like cassava and corn continued to be mainstays. However, it wasn't until the late 18th century, when the British took control over Trinidad, that the country experienced a significant culinary shift. The British introduced a variety of new ingredients and dishes to the islands. One such dish, the Cornish pasty, a pastry filled with meat and vegetables, found its way into the Trinidadian kitchen, eventually evolving into what locals now call pastel. The British also brought with them foods that were previously unfamiliar to the islands, such as salted fish and cured meats. These ingredients were often used in creative ways to supplement meals, resulting in unique dishes like buljol, a flavorful mix of salted fish, tomatoes, onions and peppers. In addition to the new ingredients, the British also introduced new cooking methods. The tradition of afternoon tea, for instance, became a social event in Trinidad and Tobago, leading to the creation of local tea time delicacies, such as currant rolls and coconut drops. The plantation culture established by the British also played a significant role in shaping the island's cuisine. The vast sugar plantations necessitated large-scale cooking practices, leading to the creation of hearty one-pot dishes that could feed many workers at once. This is how dishes like callaloo, a delicious blend of meat, rice and pigeon peas, came into existence. The European settlers not only changed the political landscape, but also left an indelible mark on the island's food culture. Their influence, combined with the indigenous flavors, set the stage for the vibrant and diverse culinary scene that Trinidad and Tobago is known for today. With the introduction of African slavery by the British, Trinidad and Tobago's cuisine experienced yet another transformation. As we delve into this chapter of history, we find that the African influence on the island's gastronomy is both profound and enduring. African slaves were brought to Trinidad and Tobago in the 18th century to toil on sugar plantations. They brought with them not just their labor, but also their culinary traditions, which became deeply woven into the island's food culture. One of the most distinctive dishes they introduced is callaloo, a hearty stew made with a variety of leafy greens, okra, crab or salted meat, and a medley of spices. The base of this stew is dasheen leaves, a type of taro plant that was brought over from West Africa. Today, callaloo is considered a national dish, a comforting staple that's present at family gatherings and festive occasions. Another beloved dish that has its roots in African cuisine is pilau. This one-pot wonder combines meat, rice and pigeon peas, cooked together with caramelized sugar and a blend of spices. The The result is a hearty, flavorful dish that's both nourishing and satisfying. The process of browning the meat with sugar before adding the other ingredients is a cooking technique that has its origins in West Africa. These dishes have stood the test of time, remaining beloved staples in Trinidad and Tobago's culinary repertoire. They are testament to the resilience and creativity of the African slaves, who, despite their harsh circumstances, managed to weave their culinary heritage into the tapestry of the island's cuisine. The African influence extends beyond these iconic dishes. The use of okra, black-eyed peas, and yams in Trinidad and Tobago's cuisine can also be traced back to Africa. These ingredients are still used widely today, adding their distinctive flavors and textures to a variety of dishes. Despite the brutal history of slavery, the African influence on Trinidad and Tobago's cuisine is profound, with dishes like callaloo and pilau standing as testaments to their culinary legacy. So as we savor these dishes, we also pay homage to the people and the history that shaped them. Following the abolition of slavery, Trinidad and Tobago welcomed a wave of East Indian indentured laborers, who brought with them a wealth of culinary traditions. This influx of East Indian immigrants in the mid-19th century significantly shaped the island's cuisine, introducing a myriad of flavors and dishes that are now considered quintessential to Trinidadian food culture. One of the most significant introductions was the concept of curry, a dish that has since been adapted and adopted into Trinidadian cuisine. Trinidadian curry dishes are a unique blend of Indian spices and locally available ingredients, creating a palette of flavors that is both familiar and distinct. From curry goat to curry mango, the range of curried dishes is extensive and deeply ingrained in the island's culinary identity. Alongside curry, the Indian flatbread known as roti also made its way to the islands. This versatile bread is used as a utensil, a wrap, and a plate, making it a staple in many Trinidadian meals. Over time, the traditional roti has evolved into unique Trinidadian versions, such as the bus-up shut, a flaky torn roti that gets its name from its resemblance to a busted-up shirt. Then, there's the beloved street food, doubles. Made with 2 bara, fried flatbread, and a generous helping of curried chickpeas, this dish is a perfect example of the fusion of Indian and Trinidadian culinary practices. It's a common sight on the streets of Trinidad, served hot and fresh from the vendors' carts, and is widely regarded as the ultimate Trini snack. Of course, these are just a handful of the dishes that have been influenced by East Indian cuisine. Numerous other dishes, spices, and cooking techniques have been incorporated into Trinidadian cuisine, creating a rich tapestry of flavors that continues to evolve and delight. From curries to roti, the East Indian influence on Trinidadian cuisine is undeniable, adding another layer of complexity to the island's culinary tapestry. This blend of cultures and flavors is what makes Trinidad and Tobago's cuisine so unique, a true reflection of its diverse and vibrant history. Over time, Trinidad and Tobago's cuisine has continued to evolve, influenced by a host of other cultures. One of the most notable contributions comes from the Chinese immigrants who ventured to these tropical islands in the mid-19th century. They introduced the art of stir-frying and the concept of umami, that elusive fifth taste that transcends sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. This influence is most apparent in the popular Trinidadian dish of fried rice, a savory melange of rice, vegetables, and often shrimp or chicken, tossed in a hot wok to create a symphony of flavors that dance on the tongue. Yet the culinary tapestry of Trinidad and Tobago doesn't stop there. In the early 20th century, Syrian and Lebanese immigrants made their way to the islands, weaving their own unique threads into the gastronomic fabric of the nation. They brought with them the flavors of the Middle East, infusing the local cuisine with their rich culinary traditions. One such dish is bacon shark, a sumptuous sandwich that combines tender fried shark meat tucked into a soft, freshly baked bread roll, typically slathered with a variety of sauces and garnished with crisp, fresh vegetables. Though not of Middle Eastern origin, the bake or flatbread in this beloved dish mirrors the pita bread common in Syrian and Lebanese cuisine, hinting at their influence. These diverse culinary influences have created a veritable melting pot of flavors, a testament to the rich tapestry of cultures that have shaped the history and identity of Trinidad and Tobago. From the indigenous Arawaks and Caribs to the Europeans, Africans, East Indians, Chinese, and Syrian Lebanese, each culture has left an indelible mark on the nation's cuisine. Today, Trinidad and Tobago's food is a vibrant reflection of its multicultural heritage, a delicious blend of flavors and dishes that continue to delight locals and visitors alike. Every bite tells a story, a rich narrative of the island's history, its people, and their enduring love for good food.